Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. This is part 2 of getting ready for Splitter Wars 2.0. We're actually getting ready to go cut the next tree, and the next tree actually is a cherry tree. Hopefully we can get about 15 rounds off of this. I've got 23 or 24 of the maple tree, and then I've got 10 rounds that I'm going to use from the elm tree, and then I'll have about 15 or so from the cherry tree. So we'll have 3 different species of woods, all hardwoods, and that way we can get a good variety of woods and stuff to run through the splitter. And we're going to do 50 total, all 8 to 10 inches. So we're going to be using the Dynamic Duo today. I bought these saws a little while back. I've got a Stihl MS-170 that I like to use for the limbing part of the tree. You know, if you're doing all, it's a really lightweight. You know, when you're trimming off the limbs and doing all that kind of stuff, it's real easy to lift and maneuver this thing and handle it for a long time. So if you're going to be using it for several hours, this little saw is just lightweight and it's powerful. It does a great job. We're also going to be using the Stihl MS-271. This is a 50cc saw with a 20-inch bar. And I think these two actually make the perfect pair for a homeowner. You know, like, and this is just my opinion. You know, I'm sure there's plenty of people out there that's going to say, well, I've got a 261 that's so much better, and I'm sure, you know, there is. I'm just saying, for my purposes, these saws actually work out really good as a pair. The MS-271 is actually got a 20-inch bar on it, so I can use it for some bigger stuff. But I've got an Echo CS590 that I run a 20-inch up to a 24-inch bar, and that works really good for the big stuff. But then you've got a lot of weight there, so if you're not cutting big trees, then you can kind of go down to that little bit smaller size, and that kind of helps you there. And then when you're doing your limbing, then the MS-170 works great for that, and small trees too. I used the Milwaukee M18 fuel on the last video. So anyways, let's get going on this. This tree should give me the final amount of rounds that I need in order to have all 50 rounds for Splitter Wars 2.0. So follow along with us today while we put the Stihl MS-271 and the MS-170 to work. The tree's a little twisted up, plus it's overhanging my yard here, and as you can see, the ground back here doesn't have very much grass and stuff here, and that's why I'm actually cutting these trees out of the edge of the yard. I love the trees around the house, but there's an area back here that's really sloped, and I want to get the grass growing here. So I burn firewood, so why not go ahead and cut down these crooked trees that are kind of blocking the sunlight anyways, and hopefully get my grass fixed up, plus get some firewood out of it also. So that's why I'm selecting these trees. I've actually got a poplar standing over here kind of out in the yard, and you can see where I've, you know, kind of mowed paths and stuff around that. And it's just kind of annoying having that stuff out in the yard. So once I get this stuff cut, I'm going to come back through with an excavator or something and dig these things up by the roots, get rid of that stuff. That way I can mow this, plus it will stop shading the yard so much, and hopefully I will prevent so much erosion from coming on this hill. Because I'm on a pretty steep hill right here. So the first tree that I cut up on part 1 of this little mini series, I cut it up into the firewood lengths down here on the hill. Then I brought the tractor down and loaded it onto the tractor. That actually proved to be fairly difficult walking around on this hill. So what we're going to do on this one, I'm going to saw it into like 10-foot lengths or so, and then bring the tractor down here and haul it up here to level ground, and then buck it up for our rounds for Splitter Wars. So let's get into it. We're going to fire up the little Stihl MS-170, knock off a bunch of these limbs. One thing I really like though about the battery saw And that's whenever you set it down and trying to clear limbs out of the way, then it's quiet. And this, you know, with the gas saw, that's the biggest disadvantage, is that thing sitting there running all the time. That, or you have to shut it off and pull start it every single time. So the battery is really nice in that situation, but still, this is a nice lightweight saw and easy to use, and I like it. So in case you was wondering what I was doing there, I actually put a zip tie on my handle here, and I measured from my bar over 16 inches. The reason I did this actually is because my Mingo marker, the wheel that's on it, is actually an 18-inch wheel. I usually use it to mark the lengths of my firewood, but for this Splitter Wars challenge, the rules were that they had to be 16-inch pieces, and I couldn't find the 16-inch wheel for my Mingo marker because I've had that thing for a couple of years, and I always use that 18-inch. Anyways, that's what I was doing. I actually seen this on a Facebook group of putting a zip tie on here and measuring it that way, and in that way you just basically line it up with sight and your measurements out of your way, as far as, you know, being in the, like, stuck out on your bar. I've seen some that are magnetic that stick on your bar, and I actually still like my Mingo marker better. I'm real weird about being like on a mark, so my Mingo marker puts that little spray of paint, and as long as I'm on that spray of paint, then I'm good to go, you know. And I think, oh yeah, that's exactly where I need it. But this, whenever I'm eyeballing it, you know, I can move it around a little bit, and it takes me longer to decide that that's just right. So, you know, it works in a pinch. Like I say, I'm only doing this anyways for the Splitter Wars because they have to be 16 inches. But I thought I'd show that because it's a really cheap way to get you a marker for your firewood length on your chainsaw, and it's removable, and it's, I mean, shoot, what, 99 cents or something for a zip tie? So it's really cool. I don't remember the person that I seen that on. It was on one of the firewood Facebook groups, and I apologize for not giving them credit for that because it is a super, super idea. And I sent him a message and I was like, why didn't I think of that? That's so simple, and it works great. So anyways, thanks to that person. Like I say, I'm sorry I can't remember the name or give them credit for that, but it was super awesome to see that, and it works good in a pinch. So anyways, let's get this tree bucked up, see how many pieces we get out of it, and see if we've got enough to complete our challenge. And just so you can see what this looks like when you're standing behind it. So you pretty much can eyeball where that tie is going to be at. And it works pretty good. Like I say, I do kind of like using my Mingo marker better, but this works really good too, and it's a lot cheaper. As you can see, we've got all of our rounds and stuff sitting here. I've actually got a few more than 50, but whenever I go to stack it up, I'll sort them out. I've got 7 pieces of elm that I put into this. So I'll take out a few pieces of the cherry and the maple in order to make everything even out. And I really just kind of wanted to have a variety of species of woods in this little splitting competition, so to speak, so that you could kind of get an idea of what our Eastonmade 916 is capable of doing. So far, everything that I've had no trouble with that machine splitting it. Now, if you get into a real nasty, knotty piece with a 6-way wedge or something, yeah, it might stop the machine there. I can only remember maybe one time that I've actually had it stop completely and wouldn't bust through something. I've been really impressed with it. And I don't think that there's anything here that I'm going to have to worry about that splitter getting through in a hurry. Everything here, 8 to 10 inches. Like I say, there's over 50 here. I'm going to sort them out tomorrow. I've got to stack them up and get them staged and everything like that. I'm not splitting this where I normally split my wood at. I'm actually doing it completely separate from everything else I normally do. I'm going to put a stake over here in the ground. I'm going to stack these up and line them up parallel to the wood splitter, and I'll run the splitter actually right about where I'm standing at, and then that way we can just work off the pile. We'll run them through, they'll come out the other side, and we'll be good to go. That's going to wrap it up. I appreciate y'all following along with me today. Make sure to subscribe to the channel, follow along with our little splitter wars. Like I said, there'll be links in the bottom down here for the other channels that are participating in Splitter Wars 2.0. And again, I want to thank Roger at Tractor Tech for inviting me to participate in the Splitter Wars 2.0 this time. It's a real pleasure to do that. I'm so excited about doing this though, and tomorrow I've got my helper going to be here, so we're going to go ahead and do the video and stuff for Splitter Wars 2.0, but it will not be published until October 10th, so make sure you subscribe to the channel and follow along with us so that you can see what the results are for our Eastonmade 916 wood splitter. We have a new tool here on the property that is going to really change things for me, being a one-person show most of the time whenever I'm splitting wood. I've got one of the big Eastonmade STK24 wood conveyors, so it's really going to help me out a lot. Let me flip you around and show you that thing. It's a 24-foot conveyor. As you can see, I've got the firewood already piled up all the way up to the grizzly on that thing. I mean, that thing's amazing. It keeps me from having to throw firewood. I'm a one-man show most of the time. Like every once in a while, you know, my wife will try to help me out, that kind of stuff. But we're both pretty limited on time. This is a game changer for us. It's like hiring another person and they're always there waiting on you. And you don't have to pay them other than what the initial cost is of the machine. So I'm real excited about this. I've got help all the time. If I decide I'm going to split firewood in the dark, my help is here. If I decide I'm going to do it 8 o'clock in the morning or 7 o'clock in the morning or whatever, my help is here. I don't have to wait on them. I can just come out here, split wood, and go. It's so awesome. So guys, if you like videos like this, make sure to click that thumbs up button, subscribe to the channel, and thanks for watching.